Okay, we have a men's dating roach. Sorry, I mean men's dating coach. Shout out to Undead Chronic. But here we have a female's she is a dating coach for men specifically. That is a woman. So you already know she a scammer. just off rip, just off GP. But here she's going to give her best advice when it comes to this so-called 80-20 rule, right? That's been popularized. Now, all the normies know about 80-20 now. 80% of women aiming for the top 20% men. But really, the actuality of the situation is all women are aiming for the top 10% men. All women, not 80% of the women. It's really all women are aiming for the top percent guys if they can, right? And if they can't get that, they'll quote unquote settle, even if they're like a 2 out of a 10, right? But now, since the normies have gotten a hold of this whole 80-20 thing, which is actually undeniable, you can see it through the dating app statistics. You can see it through when it comes to attraction, women being attracting to men, women being attracted to what kind of man. And now the brutal truth is basically out there where it's clear that women find most men unattractive, right? So she here is going to give us the best advice that she can to somehow counteract this phenomenon. Let's hear her genius advice to give to men to combat the 80-20 rule.
If 80% of women really do only want 20% of men, then why not fight to become one of the 20%? Instead of seeing that 20% as a reason to give up, you use it as a wake-up call to become the kind of man that you'd actually be proud of by seeing women as people, not as prizes. Second, social proof. Women subconsciously think, okay, if people like him, then he must be worth knowing. So having a solid friend group by being the guy that other people want to be around. The third, master connection. The top 20% aren't just attractive. They know how to make women feel safe, seen, and actually enjoy being around women. Making women turn around and want to put in effort to get to know you. That's the skill. You can learn
it. Do you see this? Her book, Becoming Boyfriend Material. You can't make this stuff up. What? By the way, who is buying her book? First of all, who is taking her courses? I need to have a talk. So this is her Instagram page. She has 168,000 followers. Whatever men, because this is what her title is. She's a men's dating coach, right? Whatever men are taking her courses, buying her whatever, like, you need to slap yourself. Straight up, you need to slap yourself if you even have a dating coach in general, but especially somebody like her. Are you kidding me? Get Jamie Dates top selling digital courses at 50% off. Y'all cannot be serious. So her advice, mind you, her ultimate advice to so-called combat the 80-20 rule, right, is to just get famous, bro. Just become a top 20%. Just become a top 20% guy. It's not that hard, guys.
Percent of women really do only want 20% of men, then why not fight to become one of the 20%? Instead
of So just get famous, bro. Just be the top athlete, bro. I mean, I could have gotten a ninja to say what you said. Kids already know this. Just get famous, bro. Why do you think you have dudes trying to be on the football team when they have no business being on the football team or the basketball team? Because they know. Like, she thinks she's giving some kind of advice that men don't already know. We already know if you're in that percentage, you're in, but you just have to be there. And men are already constantly trying to battle for that slot if they're not winning in the genetic lottery in terms of face. Right? So if you're not winning in the face lottery, you're basically battling to not be part of the unattractive 80%, right? So men already know this. This is why they're always trying to rap. They're always trying to be in the entertainment industry. They're not trying to be a plumber. They're not even trying to be a pilot. They're not even trying to be like a high earning, paying professional. They're trying to be in the entertainment industry, a celebrity, right? A lot of times it's not even about the money. They're just trying to get the clout because they believe the clout is the currency, right?
Seeing that 20% as a reason to give up, you use it as a wake-up call to become the kind of man that you'd actually be proud of by seeing women as people, not as prizes. Second, social proof. Women.
But especially if you grind your way to be a 20%, how by the time you get there, how can you not see? Like, how can you not see a woman as a prize, as a reward? But like, particularly women like her, they want the guy to literally kill himself to be part of a select group of men, and then still want to be treated equally towards that man if she happens to get picked by that man. I don't know what kind of world they're living in. You have no leverage, especially if that man has to grind his way to become that kind of a man, financially or physically or even mentally. But specifically when you're talking about financially, or especially celebrity wise, there's no equality anymore. What are you talking about?
Subconsciously think, okay, if people like him, then he must be worth knowing. So having a solid friend group by being the guy that other people want to be around. And third, master connection. The top 20% aren't just attractive. They know how to make women feel safe, seen, and actually enjoy being around women.
Sorry, let me rewind it real quick. I think I missed something.
Connection. The top, okay, if people like women as people, not as prizes. Second, social proof. Women.
So yeah, the social proof part that she's going to talk about. So yeah, social proof works, but like, tell us something that we don't know.
Subconsciously think, okay, if people like him, then he must be worth knowing. So having a solid friend group by being the guy that other people want to be around. And third, master connection. The top 20% aren't just attractive. They know how to make women feel safe, seen, and actually enjoy being around women.
Like drug dealers, right? So women will say stuff like this, right? But then you will find out that a lot of them were dating criminals when they were in high school. I'm sure drug dealers was making you safe and feel secure and and whatnot. Or pimps. Like, they'll say stuff like that, but then the same girl you couldn't even get a hug from, but then you find out later on in life she's getting pimped. She has a pimp. And you're like, you're willing to sell your body, earn money for a guy while selling your soul to the streets. And yet, when you try to talk to her while she was in college or high school or whatever, wherever, or in the workplace, she wants like nothing to do with you. And you're just like, wow, damn. You know what I mean? And that's kind of why, that's why like normal men are like so fascinated by like, pimps or like people that are kind of bending the law, how they're able to get women to do certain things where they can't even get a hug from the same girl. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the fascination behind, regular dudes being fascinated with pimps, right? But that whole, you got to make a woman feel safe by that's where she's now adding her little tidbit, yeah, be a top 20% guy, but you still got to treat a woman like a lady. You still got to treat her like she's a normal human. Especially if I'm a dude that had to kind of really grind my way to that spot to be a 20% guy or a top 10% guy, or if I've been a top 10% guy most of my life, what average broad like her is going, what could she tell me in life? Why would I even want to listen to her? You know what I mean? So
making women turn around and want to put in effort to get to know you. That's the skill. You can learn it.
Like I said, men are not they're just looking at all of this stuff, and they're looking at what they get in return if they were to grind their way to be a quote unquote top 20% guy. And they're like, is the juice really worth the squeeze? They see plenty of rich guys still getting divorced. They still seeing plenty of athletes getting destroyed by the family courts, child support, etc. They're seeing the celebrities getting destroyed by women by false allegations. You know what I mean? So is it really worth it to become this so-called top 20% guy? Like, so this is where a lot of women are getting like misconstrued. Like, guys are not, they're not finna break their neck to be this kind of person. What, for broads? Just to get a broad? Nah, they're just, dudes are like, nah, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. But yeah, let me know what you think of this this female dating coach right here. What we call her again? What they say she is? A men's dating coach. What a scammer. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe.